Madison Parker, former Navy SEAL, wilderness instructor, fieldcraft instructor, mostly just learn how to live off the land. The resources that you need to live off the land are all around you.
This is the art of primitive living.
All my life is a collection of all the things I've seen people that live off the land and taken a piece from them and from there tried to incorporate it into my experience so that I can share it. One trap I like to teach my students, the Ojibwe bird snare. When you first look at it, you think, oh, this is a kid's trap. But honestly, it's not. It is a very advanced trapping system. And without a decent amount of knowledge, you're not going to put that thing together. But it's triggered by the animal. You don't have to stand there and trigger it. The basic trap that I use for squirrels, rabbits, raccoons, and rats, because all four of those will sustain your life in the field. You're going to be cutting saplings that are this big, probably not thicker than that. You're going to need two opposing sides. So as you set two down, you're going to set two more. It's log cabin style, pyramid, going up and out, up, out, up, out, up, out, until you get to the very top peak. The very first part of this set is two simple sticks with two strings, and in this case 550 cord tied between them. This particular product right here can be wire. If you do it with wire, it's a little harder to put together, and the wire wants to tangle on you, and it's very stiff. And if the wire kinks on you, you're done. You got to start over, because that's a break spot. The wire will break there when there's tension or pressure applied to it. Then the other part is your trigger mechanism, and this monofilament line, you want it clear, or relatively clear. This is monofilament, and it's a heavy grade, so it's not going to break real easy. It's pretty tough stuff right here. The first thing you want to do, you got a huge parallel line. First you want to do is that right there. That creates your pyramid, okay? So this is your trigger loop side, and that side will come full to this side. But for now, what we'll do is we'll bring this together like that, and we'll start from the very end, the way I've laid them out. You want to be careful when you first start. You want to lay it in gently and try and make it just the way it's going to be. And you want to have a level surface too. If it's not a level surface, it's going to be much harder for you. I'm getting tight right now, and it's still a long ways away. Okay, it's important to have a little extra length on each piece. You don't want them too short, because when you pull it out like that, it can pop down, and then you got to start over, and it's a pain. But structurally, this thing is incredibly strong. When you get it tight is when you can start to tweak it a little bit. I'm getting close, but still, you want it perfect. You don't want it, good. You want it perfect. Okay, at this point, I still got 2, 4, I got 3 more places to go here. But before I do, what I gotta do here is start tweaking this trap. When you start pulling these back, you're tightening everything up, that's good. But as you pull it back here, it's going back that way on the other end. So whatever you do on here is gonna affect what's going on over there. So you gotta hold that when you pull that. So if I pull this way, now you can see I'm starting to really tweak this thing, and it's getting just the way it's supposed to be. But it's still not all the way there. See this right here? Right here. See that? See that cord? That cord's supposed to be on the back side of this. Might be able to do it. Oh yeah, now see, now I got it. See how the cord's going on the back side? Now, but if you get it too tight, which you need it too tight, this system has to be too tight. If you get it too tight, you can't make that correction. You'll have to take some out here and then go back down. Okay, So that's pretty much it. Now on the back side, I got my trigger. God dang. See, it's short. I'll tell you why, because everything's stretched so tight. Now, we have to go find a trigger. That will be the trigger. Now we gotta go back and I'll show you how you do it. So you take one, you got 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, okay? So at the two places from the outer edges on the 1/3 mark on each side, you take in exactly what you'd figure to be the 1/3 mark. It doesn't matter where you start on this first cut, but it has to be real precise, going halfway through the trigger, okay? And you gotta keep your saw real level, real straight. Okay, now that's about right. Your cut that's going about halfway through the thickness of your trigger. Now here's the key. You got to take the exact perpendicular of that, which means a 90, going 90. And at the 1/3 mark, right at the 90, where this is on the bottom, this next cut is on the top, at the 1/3 mark. You got to make sure you're measured out right. It's got to be right. It can't be kind of right. It has to be right. Okay? Now, making sure I'm there. What I'm trying to do is break it right there. I broke it. Perfect. There's a saw cut there. There's a saw cut there. What I did is I broke it, and the saw cut broke right there, and this marries up perfectly. There's only one way it'll go, but when I put it together, it doesn't look like it's broken at all. And it holds together pretty good as long as you put pressure downward. But watch this. See how that collapses? And there's only one way it can go together. It can't go together any other way except the grain of that wood will match up perfectly. Now, those of you who've been watching, you see the reason for the monofilament line. Okay, it's kind of clear. This is a very heavy grade. You can use a lighter than this. I like to use it heavy because anything you use that's stronger in the field is better. Okay, I got some bait here. It's a couple of almonds and it looks like a black walnut or something. This right here is absolutely premium bait. I mean, if you bait with this, everything's coming in here for this. If they know it's there, they're coming. But anyway, so the placement is here. The very furthest place you can get in the back. But see, you don't want to go too close to the back because a raccoon's good with his hands, okay? And he'll stick his hands through these bars and pull out those nuts. So you got your string, your trigger string going on both sides, fairly taut, fairly tight. Your vertical trigger, it's ready to go. So the bird comes in here, maybe his wing hits it or his feet hit it. Most often the bird will jump right over it. But for me, I've noticed that squirrels like it better. They feel comfortable in this thing. I don't know why, they're not afraid of it. And they come in here and their front legs go over the wire, but then their back leg touches the wire. And it drops and closes. You know, it's never a bad thing to go back and keep the basic skills alive because those are the skills that are stepping stones that take you to your ability to make a bow in the field, your ability to make a slingshot in the field, your ability to bind an arrow point to an arrow shaft. So without plant fiber and understanding, and we're talking very basics here, you can't get to the advanced stuff. You can't go out there and hunt with these weapons we're developing here without knowing plant fiber, without understanding how to make a cord, how to make a fishing hook. There's just so many different technologies that come out of the plant fiber skill, and a lot of people just discard them because they're not interesting or fascinating or exciting.